All right, you guys, if you're in the market to get a Dodge Charger, but you don't know exactly what options to look for or what options were even available, then this is the right video for you guys. I'm gonna go over all the options that I specifically looked for when trying to buy my Dodge Charger. And honestly, I'm also gonna go over some of the regrets that I have with the spec that I picked. Now, I've owned this car for 5 years and I've put about 60,000 miles on the car, and it's been amazing. I've loved it, but I'm gonna go over some of the things that have caused me some issues, or just some things to look out for before you buy your car, guys. So stick around this video. There's gonna be lots of good information, and hopefully it helps you guys out when trying to buy your Dodge Charger. Also, before we get into this video, guys, I'd just like to say I'm sorry that the car is filthy. I live in Michigan and it is winter and the car's black and there's salt everywhere, and I just cleaned it, and literally on the way here it even got kind of dirty, so I apologize. Bear with me, guys. I promise I'm not a terrible owner. So the absolute first option that I looked for, guys, when getting my Dodge Charger is I wanted it to be all-wheel drive. Now, this car has the V8, the 5.7, the 345, and if you didn't know, up to 2014 you were able to get these cars factory with all-wheel drive. Now, obviously, if you're familiar with looking in all-wheel drive V8 models, you can get a 2015 and above with the all-wheel drive and V8, but they are only cop cars, so they weren't really, produced for the general population. So you can't pick those up, but those interiors are completely different, and they're not as appealing in my opinion, but obviously, you could tear them down and make them look like a factory car that was, not made to be a police car. But yeah, guys, I live in Michigan and it snows here a lot, so this is my daily driver, and I really wanted to get the all-wheel drive just for the snow. And at the time I got this car, I was like 17 or 18, and I kind of wanted to convince my mom, to be honest, to kind of get a cool car. So I was like, hey mom, look, it's all-wheel drive, it's safe, right? And she bought into it, and here we are. So I think that's a good negotiation point too, kids. If you're trying to convince your parents, it's all-wheel drive, it's safe. And now that is why it's kind of sitting like a monster truck. I'm sure you guys realize that. But I did have this car lowered, and that's a different story for a different time of why I raised it back up. But yeah, the first option I looked for was all-wheel drive with the Hemi, of course. The second option that I really wanted, guys, is on the interior. Let me open the car up, and it was the Beats audio package. Now, some cars did not come with the Beats audio, and I really wanted that. I feel like that's even, if you were to resell this car, it's a great reselling point. And with the Beats audio package, you actually get a Beats audio. I think this is like a 9-inch sub in the back, and cars that didn't come with the Beats audio did not have that. So I thought that was nice to have. And the sound system sounds great. If you guys have ever been in a Charger with Beats audio, you guys know what I'm talking about. But some models, like I said, did not come with it, which I was kind of surprised. I thought they all did, but I guess not. So that's definitely an option that I would look out for when getting a Charger. It's just nice to have, right? Now, the third main option that I was looking for, guys, that I wanted with this car is I really wanted the car to come with the paddle shifters. And if it came with the paddle shifters, it came with this sport mode. Now, sport mode, I like it. It's kind of cool. You get a little sport graphic that comes up on your cluster there, and you get the paddle shifters, and it actually changes your RPMs to shift at a higher, more aggressive RPM, which is kind of cool. So it's, in a weird way, it's kind of like shifting between a tune, even though it really, it definitely makes a difference at your shift points, but it's just something cool just to have. You kind of feel like, you're in a sports car, right? A little muscle car. I know this car isn't fast, it's just the 345 Hemi. It's really heavy, but I just thought that was something cool to have if you can get it. So that was something else that I looked for, and you can see I turned off sport mode and the light is off. So super easy to toggle on and off. The pedal shifters, they work pretty good. They're decently responsive. So yeah, that was the next thing that I looked for, and I think it kind of makes a big difference. Especially, again, like thinking of mine, if I was to resell this car, that's an option I think people would like to have. So now we'll start with some of the regrets or things I wish I knew. I guess in hindsight, now that I have owned this car for a while. The first thing I wish I would have gotten was the leather seats. I just think the leather looks better and they feel better. The cloth aren't terrible. Sorry, mine are filthy. The cloth aren't terrible, but you know, I think the leather seats would have been much better. These are disgusting back here. I'm so sorry that you had to see that. But yeah, that's something that you definitely, or something I definitely wish I would have gotten, is the leather seats. I mean, it's not the worst, you know, the biggest deal, I should say, because you can always swap them out. But it would have just been nice to find a car that had the leather seats from factory. So I really don't have too many regrets with the spec that I picked, guys. The last thing I really wish this car had was a backup camera. Now, this is a big car, and usually if your car has a backup camera, it's right here. This is the button to open your trunk, and then there'll be like a symmetrical one on this side. That's your backup camera. Now, this is a big car, and you know, just sometimes I wish I had a backup camera. I've never backed into anything, thankfully, but you always got to be careful, especially with a car of this size. It's just nice to have. And, you know, if I was to buy this car again, I would definitely look for one with a backup camera just for the convenience of it, if you can find one. Lastly, guys, I'm going to go over some things just to look out for with these Chargers, some things that they are known for. So if you can avoid these problems, that'd be great when you're looking for your car. Now, they're not the biggest deal in the world, but just small things like, I guess the number one thing I would say is, or not number one, but the first thing is if you come in your car here and you look, a lot of Dodges have these like trim pieces sticking up, and I feel like that's a common problem. I see that all the time. So yeah, this is, I guess, the first thing to look for, and maybe you could negotiate that in your price when you know, you're looking for a car. If it has it, you'd be like, hey man, you know, I got to replace the trim here, so could you take off, you know, a couple $100? Maybe they'll say yes, maybe they'll say no, but it's worth a shot. But yeah, if it doesn't bother you, it doesn't bother me too much, but you guys can see there, like, there's a big gap, and you don't really notice it unless the windows are down. But yeah, I would say watch your door cards. That's number one. And number two, guys, this is a big one for me, honestly. This is probably, I'd say, the worst one. Well, we'll get into another one, but number two is, I feel like a big rust point for these cars is the trunk. Now, if you guys have a Dodge Charger, you will know that when you wash it and dry it, water loves to accumulate all in the trunk. You can even see, I washed my car yesterday and there's still water sitting here. And yeah, water loves to sit there. So this is like a high risk point for some rust. And when I got the car, like literally like a month later, I noticed I had a tiny pool of rust here. And I guess this is kind of my fault. I should have dealt with it, but now it's grown a little bit. Again, not the biggest deal, but you know, I could probably sand that down and paint it and it wouldn't look too bad, or just go to a junkyard and pick up a black trunk. I'm sure they're everywhere because Chargers are everywhere. But yeah, that's just something to look out for. Again, could be another negotiation point. And you guys can even see like salt will get in here from the roads, and then when I wash it, the salt will come down and it'll stick here, and I just have to polish that out in the springtime and it goes away. But so I guess if you're looking for your car in the winter and you see like these streaks, there's a good chance that your trunk could be rusting. So yeah, that's another point that I wish I would have looked out for, guys. The next thing to look out for, guys, with these Chargers, and it's a pretty common problem, the front ends, once they get up to about 100,000 miles, they love to rattle. Now, I would say when you're doing a test drive with your car, make sure to go over some bumps and, you know, check out to see if there's any rattles. Now, it's not a big deal. It's just, you know, typical things that get worn in the front end, but definitely something to look out for. It can be kind of annoying. You know, if you don't like rattles in your new car that you just bought, but it could be a negotiation point. So just something to look out for when you're driving your car. And you should always, you know, when you're test driving a new car, go over some bumps, you know, see if the interior rattles, see if the exterior rattles. And, you know, that could be a negotiation point or maybe a reason why you walk away from a car. You know, you never know. Just things to look out for. And pretty much the last thing to look out for, guys, and I don't know if it's just a weird thing with my Charger, but it seems like whenever it gets really cold out, I think like the dash plastic like shrinks a little bit, and you'll get some squeaking when you hit bumps between the speaker and the dash. So if you're test driving your car, like I said, hit some bumps, like I said in the previous clip. And if your dash is squeaking, you know, I don't know if that's just the thing with my car, but I guess it's just something to look out for. I don't know how you could avoid it. Maybe if you put like some felt in between them, but you know, when it's warm out, it doesn't do it. Like I said, only when it's cold. So I think the plastic is like contracting, and you get a little rubbing condition. And it can be a little annoying, but like I said, once like it warms up, you really don't get that too often. And that's about it for this video, guys. I know I kind of had a decent amount of things to look out for, or some negatives, but I really do love this car, all things aside. It's been super reliable. It's never left me stranded anywhere. It's always started, and you know, it's always been amazing. It sounds good, it looks good, and you know, I could not recommend a Dodge Charger more. And I just think, yeah, like I said, it's a great car, and you really can't go wrong. Like every car, you know, there's gonna be some small things to look out for, and that's fine. You just got to know what to look out for. And if your car does have them that you're looking at, then maybe you can negotiate it into the price and get it for a little bit cheaper. Or, you know, you could pass on a car like if it's rusting. I know another rust area could be like the wheel wells, just because, you know, that's where the wheels are spinning and it kicks up a lot of stuff, and you can get like rock chips in there. So maybe check that area as well. This car is actually pretty clean on the wheel wells. It's just been the trunk. But yeah, like I said, guys, overall, it's just been an amazing car. I love to own it. And, leave any questions in the comment section down below, and I'll be sure to answer them if there's something that you'd like to know that I didn't cover. Also, with this car being all-wheel drive, guys, I think it would be pretty cool to build this thing to be able to do all-wheel drive burnouts. What do you guys think? I don't know, kind of like a Trackhawk, but you'd be confused because it'd be in a Charger, you know? I don't know. I think that'd be cool. Could be pretty quick in a dig to take down the strip. So I don't know. I've been debating back and forth if I should build this car or not, and I would absolutely love to, but it's the daily, so I have an opportunity to get a cheap daily right now, so I'm really thinking about it, guys. I'm really thinking about building this car into a dig monster. You guys let me know in the comment section down below what you think. But that'll do it for this video, guys. If you made it to the end, thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you guys in the next video shortly. Peace out, y'all. Take it easy. I know you guys probably want to hear an exhaust clip. Not much room to work with here, but you know, we'll do a little pull. Bear with me. Didn't even get out of first gear, but you know what? You guys can hear what it sounds like.